What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CTC show. Hope everyone's doing well today. We are live tonight on kick.com/CT Casual Show. We are live on X at the CT Casual Show, and we are live on YouTube at youtube.com/@CT Casual Show. I don't know why I was looking at symbol, but there is, and we are. So that's about it. I appreciate all the love. There's been a lot of love. It's been a lot of love on the latest video. I appreciate that a lot. It's still not a banger video, I know, but it was really nice to see the support. Let's hold on one second. That cool. All right, cool. Sorry, I just had to make sure that the dashboard was up because yeah. But anyway, guys, dude, it has been a wild couple days having to deal with all those dealing with a couple of those issues the other night. That was, the other day at the at the No Kings protest. That was wild, right? Then coming home immediately, making a video. It was like Speedy Gonzalez over here, dude. I'm not used to it. It's actually kind of difficult for me to be like that. Again, guys, just want to say thank you so much for all the support. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate the new followers. I appreciate the new subs. I appreciate people who are liking the video, commenting on the video. Your comments do matter. Chatters matter. Appreciate that type of stuff. Thank you. It has been, again, it's been a hard thing having to tackle. If you're a fan of the Connecticut Casual, the former Connecticut Casual Show, now known and rebranded as CTC Show, which stands for something else, it is difficult. It's a one-man show now. It's a completely operated and owned and doing all that type of stuff. Just doing it all on my own, which is difficult. So I am sorry sometimes if videos can be delayed. I appreciate the love that I'm getting on them for sure, but it is it's a one-man team, and can only do so much so fast. But yeah, my couple of updates. Besides that, then my oil went out in my house. That was a wild ride. And this isn't a milk. Let me move this. I'm just looking at it. It looks like I have old milk hanging out in the background. It's a water jug. Not milk. Got milk, but not milk. I had no oil. We ran out of oil on yesterday. It sucked. Usually it's you want to take a nice hot shower. It's like everybody had to take sponge bath. It sucked. Yeah, let's get that guy out of here. So I had to get all that done today. A little rough, rough start to the week. So, but we had oil today, so I took a nice ass shower. Been needing a bit. It's like you go a day without showering, you feel like a disgusting person, even though you take a a little sponge bath. So I'm sorry, my skin's a little blotchy. I enjoyed a hot shower because I didn't get to take one yesterday. It pissed me off. I was so upset. It was dude, what the hell? At my other house, it's at my other house I have electric heat. I had electric backup, right? So if you run out of oil, you could still take I don't know, you had 10 minutes before the water got cold. You had to wait you had to wait 30 minutes for it to get hot again, but at least you had a backup, because oil can just take forever, especially now. But at the new house, my second house, it's Yeah, it's not a big deal, but dude, when the oil's gone, it's gone. You kind of know. Like, you know, like, you don't, like, and you know, like, if you're a homeowner, yeah, sometimes, like, even just checking the oil, like, obviously, like, you top off. I live in New England. So you would, like, top off. Normally, you would, like, you would go check. I usually will, like, fill up at the end of October. But dang, dude, I was like, we're running low. I didn't know we were out. Okay, there's a bad thing on my end. I didn't mean to. So it's been a wild ride. A wild 48 hours, I'll say that. Guys, if you are watching anywhere else, please, I encourage you to come over to kick.com/the CT Casual Show to join the moderated chat, where I'm always reading chats over here first. Based on all the stuff that's happening with Twitch and Amazon and everything like that today, we are not streaming on Twitch because those dudes can't get it together for the life of me. But we got some news to go into, obviously, you know, touching base on some of the No Kings protests that happened this weekend. I would like to go over other people's experiences, obviously, people that had more of an experience than I did. Connecticut was a snooze fest. Besides, I did get called a Nazi, so I feel like that was like a rite of passage to get called a Nazi. That was kind of cool. You know, little rite of passage, little earning my stripes over here in the army of seeker of truth and freedom. Getting called a Nazi, you know, I think that's like a rite of passage, right? So I wasn't mad, but I was a little like taken aback that that little hippopotamus called me a Nazi. That was a little strange. That was one of these inflatable people. Which was weird because I looked at so many people and it's like, those inflatables, dude, they were everywhere. They were at every single one of these protests. It's like, okay, come on. Who's dropping the care packages off with all these inflatables? You know what I'm saying? Who's out here dropping inflatables off? We don't want to see all that. We don't want that. Oh, man. The hippo killed you. The hippo killed me. Called me a Nazi. And like, dude, I won't lie. It's like, it's been funny because it's like all I want to do is like play. I want to play some Pokemon. It's getting shit on. That game is getting shit on heavy. That game is getting torn apart. People hate it. I'm like, I don't care, dude. I'm not a big, like, I don't really give a shit, you know? When it comes to, like, Pokemon games, it's like, I don't care. People are like, it's $70. You're paying shit. It's like, dude, yeah, sure. Do you think I give a shit? Okay, everything's expensive. You're expecting Pokemon, you're expecting Nintendo to be like the forebears of not being greedy? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. Those little sneaky Japanese, they're like, oh, you think you're so funny with the tariffs, sir? You think you're so funny? Not today. Let me go grab some of my notebooks so that way I can have all that ready. Hold on one second. All right. Okay. Cool. Bet. Awesome. All right. So, a couple of things we're going to get into tonight. I want to start off with JD Delay. I know we talked about him, I think it was last week. He interviewed an ex-Antifa member. I had a couple of thoughts about that. I'd love to. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. So I had a couple of thoughts about JD Delay's recent interview with this ex-Antifa member. I always find it a little difficult to just kind of go off these first impressions on people's interview and the things they're saying. I have a lot to say about it, but we're going to watch that together. But again, guys, if you're watching anywhere else, come join us over here on Kick. I appreciate you guys. Subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on X. All right, let's get into it. Let me turn this beep, bop, boop, boop music off. Let me stop that for now, right? We don't need that anymore. Okay.
This is bad.
This might be the most urgent and important interview that I have ever done. Today we are going to be speaking with an ex-member of the terrorist organization Antifa. He was a street member of an Oregon chapter, and he is going to give us all of the behind-the-scenes knowledge and inner workings of this terrorist organization.
Portland is unbelievable what's going on. And these are paid terrorists, okay?
The Trump administration needs to start treating Antifa like ISIS, the terrorists that they are.
From talking about how their leadership works, how their hierarchy is formed, how he got into Antifa, and what they are doing to raise their money, as well as what their ultimate goal is: a civil war in America. We need to push this information out there so that more people know what is actually going on. So please like, comment, and share. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we are joined by a very special guest. We have Ty with us, and Ty was actually a member of the organization Antifa. Ty, welcome. Thank you for spending the time to come and talk to us today. I understand that you were able to actually deprogram to get away from Antifa, and I want you to know that we're all super proud of you, and we really appreciate you being here with us today, brother.
Okay, so right off the bat, real quick, the deprogramming of Antifa. I mean, it definitely sounds like a cult. More than just obviously an ideology. We can take a look at some of the people that were, what they claiming, what they're saying. There was a couple of people who were even at this No Kings protest, and some of this ideology, and I could talk about that myself, but this, the term deprogramming, that's pretty specific. So I really am looking forward to seeing what this guy's going to say about it.
Thanks, man. I feel the love. I appreciate your shout outs. I appreciate your reaching out. You have amazing followers. They're all flocking to my channel. And, for the most part, it's nothing but love. So thank you guys for keeping it real. Yeah, it means a lot. This hasn't been an easy journey. So thank you guys.
And it should always be love, man. That's really the way that we fix this, is by finding common ground, by, finding mutual things that we have in common and not letting that gap keep growing, because things are escalating. and that's not going to be good for either side, any of the American people. And all it really does when things escalate and they get into violence, in my opinion, we are purposefully divided by the ones who are actually in power, because it's so much easier to control us and keep their foot on our neck if we're fighting with each other, while they absolutely bleed us dry and we lose our only chance at the American dream. So I wanted to ask you, how long were you in Antifa?
I believe it was about 2 years, 2018 to 2020.
And were you recruited? Did you seek them out? How exactly did that work?
I sought them out. I was very well aware from the beginning that it was an organization. I just wasn't sure how it operated, and I never fell into any particular group or cell. I was kind of a drifter, so I just kind of blew where the wind took me. I was led into and out of the chaos, but yeah, I sought them out.
So you may have been a drifter, but can you clarify this for us? As somebody who was in Antifa, is it a actual organization?
100,000.
How do we know that he was really Antifa? That's the thing, is like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this guy, maybe we'll check him out after this interview. But so far, it's like anyone could say it. Anyone could be like, oh yeah, I was part of Antifa, right? Anyone can say, yeah, I was part of that group, and they're crazy, and they're brainwashing, and they're nuts, and they probe me, and they're a cult, and they're all criminals, and anyone can say it. Anyone could say it. You know, that's the big thing, is like, you know, one of my biggest parts of this is it's hard to have people who are going to be reliable and giving us reliable insights into what this is, which is a domestic terrorist group, and hopefully designated as a foreign terrorist group, as they do have operations out in different parts of the world. So, you know, some guy coming out and saying like, hey, you know, I'm ex-Antifa, or I was part of this, and it's really a cult, you know, it is a lot. It is something that it's like you at first have to take face value, because like, are there going to be people who are coming out and like vouching like, yeah, he was part of us, and he's a bastard, and we're going to off him, you know? So those are things that I'm taking this like quick interview with a grain of salt, because look, there's misinformation all the time. People are misinformed all the time. Like, there's this whole thing going on today where people are showing the No Kings protest in Boston, and there is a massive amount of people, but people were like, oh, the footage is fake. It's from the Women's March in 2017. And like the BBC came out and said, no, this is the footage. There's aerial drone shots. There's everything from that date with documentation on it. So it's like, you know, who do you want to believe? How do you believe it? There's a lot. And like, my problem is with a lot of content creators, and you know, I'm going to go full for this. My problem is with a lot of content creators is it's a lot of it is trying to be first to market, because I understand like this is a super competitive thing. Like, this is like, people want to be first. They want to, you know, get the viral click. They want to be, you know, they want to have that SEO traction. They want a trend set. They want that type of stuff. And I get it. So they're going to talk and they're going to say this type of stuff, right? Now, the problem that I run into is that what happens if other information comes out? Are you going to retract what you said? And a lot of them don't. A lot of them just kind of, you know, go with it. Who cares? Am I going to go back and retract what I said about this? But the thing is like, there's people who do this and watch you, and your credibility kind of goes down. So in a way, it's like, I'm kind of glad that I'm maybe sometimes last to market and small, because I try to be right with what I'm talking about. I don't try to just jump into it. So that's the big thing, is like, you know, people who are, you know, first it's like, what if it comes out tomorrow, this dude wasn't, you know, he's not Antifa, and this is all just a joke. This is all just like, oh, we're going to stick it to this like right-winged, which I don't really think JD's like super right-winged. He seems pretty center. How is that? How does that look, right? So sometimes when people spread like the first to market type of shit, they don't like go back, they don't retract. And it's just this constant web of division, people getting false information. it was just like the other thing with like Destiny, when everybody was running with this Destiny thing where Destiny put out there like, oh, Twitch banned me, but he really got banned 3 years ago. And people were like elling him and posting it like, oh, that's what you get, you psychopath. That's what you get. That's what you get. And it's like, you know, you all look dumb. You all take bait. People take bait because they want to destroy your credibility. They want people to second guess the things you're saying. They want people to, you know, second guess who they're watching. Are they using you as a credible source? Are they citing you? So those are things that, you know, make sense that you need to kind of take into consideration when you're doing this type of stuff. That information flies all the time. Be up to date, be present. I would say be present up until you're recording your video, and then if things come out, I don't know, it doesn't take much to just like put a 60-second reel retracting. Like, hey, this other information came out. Hey, I was wrong about this. Because it does, you're taking yourself accountable, you're holding your integrity, you're keeping yourself like an authentic journalist or somebody who's like first reporting. So those are things that I like try to make sure that people, when they're doing this, and I truly do try to advocate that anyone who is talking about current events or anything like that, I don't know, dude, be smart with what you're saying. Make sure you have your ducks in a row. Make sure you have your alignment in order. That way, like, people aren't, you're not losing your followers. Your people can, you know, come to you as a credible source. So just, that's my biggest thing. That's why I'm going into this with skepticism. We should always go into everything that's being reported with skepticism. If we're not, we're all just falling. It's all just a psyop.
1000%. Don't let anybody fool you otherwise.
And they have like a hierarchy and a leadership structure. What is that like?
Well, the way I classify the two classes of Antifa, at least street level, you have the devotees and you have the wannabes. The devotees are people like me, people who are really in it for the Civil War aspect. We knew damn well we were playing in Civil War territory. We wanted to fight. We wanted to take out our political enemies. We wanted to take out all our rage. We were willing to do what the little trans kids on the college campus wanted, right? They're the wannabes, the furries, the one coming out in the dinosaur suits, you know, all of which is made to make it look light and fluffy, while people like me were behind the scenes. I would walk around with a machete half the size of my fucking leg. I called it my self-defense machete. It's fucking pathetic. But so the devotees kind of use the wannabe class as human shield. So a lot of the time the wannabes would get taken out first because they want to be virtuous. They want to be there with their cameras at the front, and then holy shit, here come the rubber bullets. And then
that makes sense. That makes sense, right? Like that's a thing, but that could also be anyone who's like strategic or in your way of thinking. I could say that. The inflatable hippo costumes, you're so right. Oh, do we have a Nazi in the crowd? Shut the hell up, you dumb, stupid dude. The woman. The people, man. The person, you know, okay, hold on. Let me say this about my experience at the No Kings thing. My experience at the No Kings rally in New Haven. Here's my problem. That I felt really bad. Because it's like, no, I didn't want to put cameras on people's faces and make them feel bad. Like, I want to do content, but I also am like, let me be like respectful to these people. I don't want people to be angry. I don't want to make people more mad. Because I think like the point of doing this is to not just create more division. And sometimes you could do that. You know, do I think that these people can be reasoned with? Absolutely not. Their way of thinking is stuck. The only thing you can do is just be like respectful, mature. But to the woman who called me a Nazi and then said, I'm going to go hug the guy for his sign. Like, look, you people are all lost. The people that were at this New Haven rally, I'm going to be real with you all. You are all lost. You're all lost. You're lost. You need to figure it out. The fact that people were holding signs, there's no dictators. And this is a sponsor that was all around, but like the people that were, oh, Save Our Democracy was also the signs, Save Our Democracy, you know, there's no dictators, follow the Constitution, but we're lining up at booths. that says revolutionize the Communist Party in the United States. Revolutionize the Communist Party in the United States, while also openly holding up signs that say no dictators, defend our democracy, we have elections here. Like, what are we doing? What are we saying? You people don't even know what you're doing. You're all, and it's just so sad because it's just like you're all really are being psyoped into believing this. You wouldn't even be able to, if he was a king or even with authoritarian power. The military is massive. You don't think that they would be at every major city? He is the commander in chief. You don't think they'd be at every major city? Hey, we're gonna deploy all the Marines and we're breaking this up. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You know, the people who are angry, I don't think Trump is doing enough. I said all this the other day. I said all this on Friday. People who are angry. Oh, he's illegal citizens are getting arrested. Blame your local government. Blame the local government. Why aren't they handing over criminals? Why are they giving anyone a human error? Why are they allowing human error to exist? You know? And that's the thing about these protests is it's all an error. You all are just psyoped. Dude, I really, like, I used to respect I have my old, my old math teacher on Facebook. I really, like, respected this guy for a lot in my life. He was a great dude. And the fact that, like, this guy is literally posting about how he was at the No Kings protest and he's all this and it's like, you're an educator. You're an educator and you're a complete failure. You're a failure. And like, I'm going to post this, like I'm going to post it and I'm going to post and clip this. I'll put it, I don't give a damn. I'll put it on my personal Facebook. I don't even use it. But you're an educator and you're failing the kids you educate. You are psyoping them into an ideology that does not make sense. These, like, revolutionizing the Communist Party of the United States were at every single one of these No Kings protests. This was not just a Connecticut thing. And I didn't know that. I thought it was just in New Haven that people were just retarded. But then I'm watching other people's videos and I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is everywhere. This is and like, then you watch the news and they're like, oh, it's co-sponsored. What's up, Lord Lynn? So to just see that people are educating these students, there's educators there, there's nurses there, and most of them were boomers. Okay, most of these people were boomers, old boomers that were coming out there and reliving their lame ass glory days when they were protesting the Vietnam War. I'm sorry, I'm so out of breath today too. It's just, I'm getting like anxiety, you know, thinking about this type of stuff because it makes me so upset to see how dumb people are and how much we have lost just people overall. What happened to just, like, I don't know, dude. The thing is like us as adults, like if you're in your 30s, it's like, did you really pay attention to Obama? Obama got like elected when I was like a senior in high school or a junior in high school. Nobody really paid attention to politics until you got a little older. And you realize, like, yeah, Obama was cool because he was well-spoken and black. Everybody loved him. And then it was just like you're getting all these people all angry when the election comes around and then it's Trump and then it's just nonstop. I think that's like the only thing about like that this is Trump's last term that I can say that I'm happy about it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it sucks. Is that just so that way he's just like, it's just out. It's just done. And we need to just not fall for this again. People just need to stop falling for it. This is not the end of democracy. Somebody was just like, oh, we've never had a president serve more than 2 terms. It's like, you're also a fucking retard, okay? You're retarded. That's not true. Roosevelt served 3 terms. They put the amendment into the Constitution. They put that amendment in after he died. It was based on tradition for a long time. It wasn't like a rule. It was just a tradition that our elected leaders would, our elected president would only serve 2 terms. People are just like, they're just retarded. You know, they're just retarded. Retarded. Okay. And the fact that there's educators that I personally know who educated me, maybe that's why I'm so, maybe that's why I messed up so much in my life. But you educated me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're still an educator at the same school I went to, and you are going to these No Kings protests. You're just, it's pathetic, dude. It's so sad. It's so dumb. The only sign that made sense while I was there is somebody said, you could love America and not like Trump. Fair. Fair. That's very true. That's what being an American is about. You're allowed to disagree. But when you're holding up signs that say defend our Constitution and in a line at a booth that says revolutionize the Communist Party of the United States, people who are upset and scared about our democracy being at stake are literally at an event that sponsors revolutionizing the Communist Party. Our democracy, you people are the people that are making our democracy at stake. You people are fucking lunatics, okay? It's so just, I'm lost. I've almost like, I'm at a point where it's just like, I'm giving up on just even thinking about these people being salvaged, because it's just, you can't. They're done. They're so far gone. They're retarded. I mean, they're done. They're retarded. I don't know what to say more than that. They're just dumb and retarded. They don't know what they're thinking. Like, dude, Trump isn't doing everything I like. Okay. I'm not happy with like everything that's happening. I'm not happy that people are still like that this generation is still struggling. The generation before me is still struggling to buy houses. Even like people my age are still, getting wrapped up into high, like houses that are like when I bought my house, it was $180,000. I think it's fair. Granted, for like what it is, it's a full house, garage, three bedroom, it was good. It was good. $180,000, give or take, maybe 175. I don't know. I'm rounding it to 180. I look online and see that house is almost worth like 300 plus thousand. And people are buying houses right now that are worth that much. It's like, I feel bad for them. People obviously, they want homes. You want a home, high interest rate, paying for a house you can't do. What happens when the market just flips? Now you're stuck in a house with you have negative. It's definitely not worth what you bought it for. It's terrible. You're in the whole negative. You have negative equity in your home. Am I happy about that? Fuck, hell no. I feel bad for people. I tell all my friends, dude. I think the only people who bought a house in that time frame where I bought my first one and I got a super good deal on the second one, like unbeatable deal. I'm paying a lot, like, I owe less on the house I'm in right now than I even bought my other house for. That was because, I'm not going to go into it, but I got it. But the only people who bought houses at that time that were like me and my business partner, we were the only 2 people who like got good deals on a home. And then I feel bad because it's just like one of my other friends, a house that's like the same size. He spent almost $100,000 more, like $280,000 for a house. My house at the time was bigger. It's like, that's so sad. And they didn't have a choice. Like, you know, you had to buy a house. So am I happy that like this has happened? No. Am I happy that we're, you know, still giving money to other countries' defense? And, you know, this is the reality that a lot of people are dealing with? No, I'm not happy about that. I think that's shit. That's terrible. And the only thing that's really benefited me so far, because of the amount of protests and all this bullshit that's happening, the only thing that's like really benefiting me so far is like gas prices are getting lower. Insurance rates still go up every couple months. Your car insurance is going up. Mill rates in every town are going higher. Your homeowner's insurance is going up. You have a fixed mortgage, but your insurance isn't fixed. When I first bought my home, I was paying $1,200 a month for the home, you know, in what's it called? In escrow. So it's like, oh, it's not bad, right? People are paying like that for a 2-bedroom apartment. I'm getting a 3-bedroom house with a garage and all that stuff in a big backyard, and I have a dog. I had a couple kids. I had one on the way. Yeah, I had a studio. If you watch like some of the old episodes of CT Casual Show, you know, I had a studio down there. It was good. You know, it's fine. I didn't care. But then what happened is that like as the years went on of living there, I'm realizing my mortgage is going up, and I'm like, why? And then you find out like there's you know, the mill rates for homes and home insurance goes up all the time. Home insurance goes up, your car insurance goes up, all these shitty scams, right? Oh, you know, every fire that happens, anytime like, you know, anytime there's a hurricane down in North Carolina destroying homes, anytime there's a fire in California, you feel the effects over here because it costs more. It costs more to rebuild your home. That's why people are like, oh, Trump's tariffs and blah, blah, blah. Fucking really grow up. Like, if we're not manufacturing things here and we're bringing them here, and those people are charging us more for us to get supplies, for us to build our homes back because they were destroyed in natural disasters, your insurance goes up. So, like, think about it. Oh, if we did tariffs, they're going to charge us more. Dude, if we don't tariff them, it's going to cost us more. If we do tariff them, at least people are getting jobs here. At least there's jobs here for people. It helps the economy. You know, and who knows? I don't know if that will affect it. Will interest rates and homeowners insurance and all that type of stuff balance out? Who knows? Insurance is, you know, and I don't advocate killing. I'm not Luigi. I'm not Luigi Mangione going out there and like killing CEOs. Who knows if those things will go back down? Who knows if they'll ease back out? Who knows? But it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't, like the thing is, but that only experience if you're living the American dream, if you're buying a home. You're buying a home, you're buying a car, you're doing those things. You see it. You're like, oh, damn, why is my car insurance going up? Damn, why is the mortgage going up? Why is this going up? Why is that going up? Well, it's because it costs more to do all this type of stuff because we're not building it here, because we're importing it, imports and exports and all that type of shit. If a country says, oh, like, you know, we're going to tariff this much or that much, we're going to do this, this, that, this, and it takes more for us to buy it, our government's going to charge whoever, you know, that supplier, that insurance company, whoever is going to charge more. But it's never going to get cheaper. Nothing's going to get cheaper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Trump is in office. It doesn't matter if Kamala Harris won. It doesn't matter who wins. Everything's going to stay expensive. It just is what it is. Oh, we're going to cut your taxes. I don't give a shit. This doesn't really put more money in my paycheck just because I'm getting like a little bit back at the end of the year. I don't care. Okay? I don't give a shit. I don't want to wait 12 months for me to get a little lump sum that's going to go away because something else is going to break in our homes. Couple extra $100. Okay, you know what's going to happen is your tire's going to go flat that day. You're gonna spend that extra $100 on a fucking emergency you didn't know was gonna happen. It's just that's just life. So no, I don't know. I don't believe that that communism's gonna be better. So the people that are standing in line and waiting for communism to do something, that's not gonna fucking help. Are you retarded? Are you fucking idiots? Everybody's just looking for a sign, dude. Everybody's just waiting for something to happen for them. And I don't know. I just wish that people weren't just so fucking dumb. The bitch who called me a Nazi, those poor kids, dude. I felt so bad. Those 2 young kids that were like, hey, what's your political affiliation before we had this conversation? It's like, bud. I looked at them like, why does that matter, man? Why does that matter for us to talk? Do you only want to talk to like-minded people? I was just like, all I'm asking is if you agree. Who said that? I got a YouTube thing. I am a super genius. That's good, man. Cool. I'm glad. I'm a super genius. I'm glad. But those kids that were like, what's your political affiliation before we talk to you? It's just like, I'm not going to tell you. I just want to know if you condone with murdering the president. Like, all I said was, hey, sir, like, in this political climate that we're in right now, do you think that signs in good taste? 8647. You know, the kids just tried to play dumb for a minute, that they didn't know what that meant. I'm like, guys, you know what that means. Come on, 86ing. You ever play Call of Duty? You ever play Fortnite? Okay. 86 them ghost. Got him, soap. 86. But it's like, that's all I want to know. Like, hey, do you think that that's okay? And they're like, no, I don't believe in murder. And it's like, good. That's all I'm saying. I don't care. These people have stupid signs. They all have dumb signs. All these signs that people are using, it's just like they don't even realize like the sponsor of this event is for communism. Are you insane? I don't know, man. I just want people to like, I don't know, think for themselves. Stop trying to be the first to everything. Stop trying to jump to market. Trying to get all this all wrapped up in their heads. It's like, come on, dude, grow up. Grow up.
Ones in the back can be like, see, we told you. And then some of them can go to fight, and then others can go to run away.
That's crazy, man. So, would you classify this organization as terroristic?
Yep. My thoughts going into...
You're saying they want civil war, so...
Yeah, it's a domestic terror organization. I wish it could have gone differently. I love alternate history as much as the next guy. I'd love to see what that world looks like, but unfortunately, the reality is, like, this is bad. This is a white boy jihad, and it's gonna get fucked up.
Well, I'm hoping that we can avoid that. I don't know exactly how we would get there, but it seems almost like it has elements of a cult per se. Did you see elements of sort of a cultish structure there?
It's a cult, but it's a cult with cults, I'm realizing, which is even fucking worse.
You know, they say that it's just an ideology and it's just an idea, but they have structure. They have, it feels like there's layers to the whole thing, and it seems like it's very complex. Did you ever see anything that made you think that they were funded from any outside entities?
I started doing some investigations into my channel, and along the way I met this guy, and he told me he was a part of Antifa, but he was very, very paranoid, and I didn't really know why, so I kind of had to work my way in and be like, dude, like, what's going on with you? And what I ultimately learned is that he was being gang stalked by criminal organizations that he had been a part of. He had gotten into Antifa for probably a couple weeks, couple months, I can't remember specifically, but he was going in as a drug mule to sell drugs to these kids. And he was also leaning on the anti-fascist ideology. He had his own gripes with white supremacy from his past and his family. And
remember the other guy that was just like, they all go to Chandler's house, drink, do drugs, and fuck each other. I don't know. That's making a lot of sense.
He wanted to fight Nazis, but he realized how stupid they were. But then he just kind of stayed embedded because he still had to make the money, right? He told me a lot, essentially that Chinese criminal syndicates were in control of Portland and God knows how much of the rest of Oregon. He just told me Portland. But essentially that they were sending agents in and they were mitigating the chaos, and that they had people everywhere, and that when a riot breaks out on one side of the city and all the cops and all the resources and all the media are there and they can monitor the traffic from their agents, their drones, their people in certain places, that gives them leeway to do operations like child trafficking, weapons trade, drug trade. So while we were all fighting each other and we're all wondering, where are the kids? Why is there so many drugs? Why are all these people so militant? This is what was happening.
What? Hold on. Antifa's trafficking children? What? I'm so confused. That took a leap.
Was the reality of what right versus left brought us in this country. That's the fucking reality of Antifa.
It sounds like they're also being funded through illegal activities. Is Antifa participating in illegal activities to raise?
So like, okay, hold on. Is that what he's saying? Is he saying like this dude would go and rally up the cops, and while Antifa was doing all the BS, then the criminals would go and do all that? Like the Chinese is, I gotta run that back. Like that I'm so confused.
From their agents, their drones, their people sending agents in, just kind of stayed embedded because he still had to make the money, right? He told me a lot, essentially that Chinese criminal syndicates were in control of Portland and God knows how much of the rest of Oregon. He just told me Portland. But essentially that they were sending agents in and they were mitigating the chaos, and that they had people everywhere, and that when a riot breaks out on one side of the city and all the cops and all the resources and all the media are there and they can monitor the traffic from their agents, their drones, their people in certain places, that gives them leeway to do operations like child trafficking, weapons trade, drug trade. So while we were all fighting.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. If the Chinese are getting involved, that's interesting. Again, that's all speculation. I don't know this dude. I gotta watch some of his videos. We could learn a little bit more, but that's weird. The Chinese.
Each other, and we're all.
Because you're always hearing like, oh, it's Qatar, it's our own government. It's Israel, it's the Jews. It's this, it's that. It's this person, it's that person. The Russians. I mean, the Chinese are not getting involved too, I guess. I don't know.
Wondering, where are the kids? Why is there so many drugs? Why are all these people so militant? This is what was happening. This was the reality of what right versus left brought us in this country. That's the fucking reality of Antifa.
It sounds like they're also being funded through illegal activities. Is Antifa participating in illegal activities to raise their funding for the organization and the things that they're doing?
I believe that local businesses, at least I can say in Eugene, a lot of these far left areas, especially areas of entertainment, and let's just say debauchery, a lot of the bars, a lot of them were in bed with Antifa, and I think a lot of them were getting in bed with local charities and NGOs, and I really believe that, look, the National Guard is great and everything. You really want to sink these motherfuckers? Sick the IRS on them. Audit everybody, because there's multiple ways that these kids were getting funding. You know, for a lot of them, people like me, it was kind of like Scientology, pay to play. Yeah, you got to pay your bills, but you might also need the mask for tomorrow type stuff. And then for the girls in Antifa, a lot of them were sex workers. So they're making a shit ton of money that guys like us couldn't make. And then on the community level, a lot of these bars and a lot of these downtown businesses, they pride themselves on the idea of revolution, a new world, apocalyptic narratives that we're all going to die. You go around to all these places and it has satanic imagery fucking everywhere.
I mean, it sounds borderline like the women might even be being trafficked to a certain extent by the organization. But have you seen stuff like drug dealing going on? And have you seen any possible links? I know you mentioned Chinese organizations. Have you seen any links with cartels and Antifa?
Well, the Chinese syndicates would be communist Chinese cartels. So they're their own form of cartel. But I think especially as Texas pushed out a lot of the migrant crisis, you started to notice there was more Mexicans popping up there. I think a lot of that was going on. I have my suspicions. I won't say them on camera, just on the off chance that I'm wrong, because I don't want to take a bullet to the head. But I do.
I mean, you said a lot so far,
there
buddy.
are multiple syndicates and criminal organizations that play here.
Okay, so you've already said that they were encouraging edging towards civil war. Have you seen Antifa pushing its members towards escalating violence?
100%. And they play with the same language that gets played in the Middle East. They throw it all around Oregon. You'd see it spray painted around the campuses. Antifada. Antifada. And the word Antifa is literally in that. So, I mean, sometimes the universe just tells you things flat out. A lot of what's happening in the Middle East, it's really the same as what's going on here. We're in the early stages of stone throwing. That stone throwing led to a lot of public optics of, oh no, the kids are being shot at, they're being attacked, how horrible, how horrible. Meanwhile, the footage of them punching a police officer gets blocked out. So you're dealing with a culture that's essentially creating a narrative of almost an apartheid system. That's kind of why they look at you guys like you and get scared. They're like, you are not a part of our society. The same way people over in Israel, or sorry, over in the other side of that in Gaza, they'll be like, oh, you're colonialist. You're settlers. Like,
Jesus.
They're looking at a lot of these conflicts overseas and they're LARPing and they're putting themselves in that exact same position because this is a globalist movement. This is all nations. This is in the UK. This is in Ireland. This is in Africa. This is in Japan. And a lot of them really seek a world without borders, but at the same time, you have to have borders. So it's a very discoherent system. But the media really props it up. Like KEZI, whenever the federal courthouse got attacked again recently, they're like, oh my God, protesters are being kidnapped. No, they're being detained.
Let me ask you this. How were you able to get out? And what triggered you to want to get out of Antifa?
Getting out of Antifa was like getting out of a bad relationship. I put up with so much. I did so much. I saw so much. You know, half the channel, I'm still going through all the stories of all the things I did. But the short answer for getting out, doing everything they told me not to do. Listening to people they told me not to listen to, listening to music they told me not to listen to, watching movies they told me not to watch, reading books they told me not to read, talking to people they told me not to talk to, which is a major cult aspect of that. They encourage you to sever ties with your family. And I did that. I didn't even get to see my grandmother on her deathbed.
That's such a common thing.
Because she was a white supremacist. This is why I'm so fucking passionate about this. I lost so much of my life to these motherfuckers, and people wonder why I'm still so hurt.
See, that is, I don't want to not believe him, but at the same time, that comment, I feel like is such the Hollywood comment. Does that? I know that kind of sounds mean, but in my opinion, that's like the Hollywood comment, right? Like, oh, I didn't even get to see my grandma when she died. You know how many people go through this? Like those stupid TikTok dance chicks that were like, she loved her grandma and she didn't even go because she's in a cult. Oh, this person didn't even do this, and then her grandmother died. It's always like their grandma. I don't know. It just seems like a lot. It's always the grandmother. I don't know. Guys, we're going to watch this, and I'm heading out.
Because they don't hear about this. They think I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist and, oh, the past should be in the past. And it's like, no, this is happening to thousands of people every fucking day. Every fucking day. All of their targets, they don't go after Nazis. I was studying Nazis. I was very confused why no one around me wanted to know about actual Nazis. So I didn't spend much time in the Proud Boys. I don't think they're actual Nazis, so I wasn't fucking worried about them. You know, but they don't like to talk about that stuff because it's scary. What's a threat to them is people like Charlie Kirk, who convince people like me, hey, you're fucking up. Come back here, buddy. You know, there's a man upstairs that loves you. Do you know you got a mommy and daddy at home that miss you very much? Do you know you look like a fucking asshole on these drugs? That's who they hate because they threaten the cult.
Was there a tipping point? Was there one thing, or was it just an accumulation of things that made you want to start questioning the ideology and what was going on?
there's just so much of it, because you got to remember, none of us are ever out there sober. You've never seen a sober Antifa member in your life. So there was a lot of disassociation, and there's a lot of times that Daryl Davis came out and I'm like, I want to go talk to the conservatives. And then there was just other times that I just felt it was so chaotic and everybody's screaming. I was there, you know, at one point screaming, all cops are bastard, and we're all chanting, and somebody fired a gun in the middle of in the air. So it's like moments like that, it would snap me out of that, and then it would have me go back into war mode. And I think that's just what disgusted me, is over time realizing how much I lost, how many friendships I severed, how stupid I was being, how much I destroyed myself. Like, I have so much physical damage now from all the fucking drugs that, like, a lot of mental damage. Which is probably one of the only reasons I'm so cocky in doing this, is because my brain's fried and the parts telling me to stop talking are gone. But
let's talk about something positive. Where is your life at today? Like, where is your heart and your spirit and your head at today, now that you've been able to distance yourself and find some time and some peace?
I'm still struggling a lot. You know, I put down.
How can he be credible? Like, and credible because of the drugs he's on? Is that what you mean? Because I agree. You know, I agree with that.
On the beer 3 days ago, the last beer I had was actually when I was doing that message to you. I was like, you know what? Let me just kind of mark.
Yeah, I mean, that's a point. It's a small point, but it's a point. I mean, like, how can we know, right? How can we know that we could take this dude serious? You know, how do we know he's credible if he's saying he has brain damage or whatever? I don't know, dude. Just go into it with skepticism. I think it's nice that he's saying it. I think it's good that he's like being a little bit more outspoken, but you know, it's strange.
This to remember it. Hopefully I stick with it. But I'm still an addict. Like, I still struggle, you know. I'm learning how to integrate into regular life, because even before Antifa, so much of my life was crazy that I have a very hard time talking to normal people. People don't have a good time understanding this. Like, I feel better and it feels good to be doing this, but there is still kind of like a part that hurts, because the change has been made. And I was about to give up on the podcast, but I was just praying to God, like, hey, give me a sign that I need to keep going. Like, if I don't want to put this down, I feel like I need to do this, but also everybody's telling me to stop. My mission this whole time has just been to find one other Antifa member, ex-Antifa member, to sit down on camera.
You know what, though? Like, I completely understand. It's when it comes to things like cults, you know, I personally can understand because of my lifestyle and addiction and the criminology and, you know, the way that I lived that lifestyle. You know, a lot of those people I had really bad, toxic relationships with, and I miss them. Most of them are dead. Most of fentanyl came in and killed most of them. And I have a lot of conflicted feelings about that. As much as I hate methamphetamines, I still had a 20-year relationship with that substance. And there's times where I still feel like a longing or a sorrow because of its absence in my life. But the consequences were absolutely devastating, and it turned me into a slave. But, you know, they're complicated feelings because we're complex creatures. And I think it would be really awesome if you were able to find someone that you could, you know, talk with, possibly podcast with. So hopefully this reaches other people that are ex-Antifa members. And even if you're not, if you want to know more about Antifa and how Antifa works and all of the behind the scenes of Antifa, from somebody who's safe and isn't trying to indoctrinate you into the cult, I highly recommend that you go and you subscribe to Ty, whose channel is Triple B Collective, right here on YouTube. There's going to be a link in the description. I'm also going to add him as a collaborator, so you'll be able to easily and accessibly find him. Please go and sub and check out his journey and check out where he's been. I personally am so proud of Ty and all of the progress that he's made and the incredible human that he's always been, but he's been able to actually cultivate. And you could just see it in you, bro. You could see it in you. And, you know, I'm honored to have been able to sit and have this talk with you. Till the next one, everybody, it's one love. Be good or be good at it.
Here, we're gonna check this guy out. All right. Definitely. Hold on, let me post this for you guys. Because I'm gonna head out. I know like it's a short stream tonight, but I'm also gonna be working on another YouTube video, so my streams are gonna be a little shorter lately. So my bad. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. You're right. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. That is that's the best advice so far, bud. Absolutely. And then also let me drop JD's video as well. Hold on. That way so you guys like, you know, I definitely highly encourage. I like JD a lot. I think he's great. So let me drop those 2 channels. Fat, drunk. That's my comment of the night. All right, guys, I gotta go work on a YouTube video for this week because I've been slammed. But I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing everything right and staying up to date. So I'm gonna cut the show short. Mondays is probably gonna be like our shorter night. Wednesdays, what I'm gonna try to do is like Mondays is gonna be like our short recap. We're just gonna watch like a video together, give some commentary, talk about the weekend, all that type of stuff. Maybe go over some major things that are happening because it's not a lot happening today besides recapping what happened over the weekend. I mean, like, yeah, Trump and the Prime Minister of Australia signed a fucking deal. All right, who cares? And then Trump is sending troops into San Francisco. All right, it's going to get blocked. It's always going to get blocked. Something's always going to happen. Judge is going to say no. They're going to appeal it. Judge is going to say yes. All right, like that's always, it's going to happen. So I'm going to cut it short for tonight, and then I'm going to be live again Wednesday. And then a new video should be out Friday. I'm going to try to make Fridays as like I'm trying to get a point where I'm doing like 2 videos a week but it is, again, it's hard. I'm trying to not be a perfectionist with this type of shit, but it's hard. But guys, please make sure, try to share the stream, tell people about it, go to the YouTube video, subscribe, help me out there. I'm trying to blow this thing out of the water already. And then as we continue on, hopefully like things just become as I'm learning, because I'm one person, I'm doing it all on my own. So as I get better and better at being able to edit, you know, and do these types of things, I'll be able to stream a little longer. Until then, it's just going to take me a little bit of time to kind of get into it. Plus, I have a buddy coming up from North Carolina this weekend. I want to spend some time with him. We're going to go to church and all that as well. But guys, I appreciate all of you guys for watching. Have a good one. See you soon. Don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on all the socials, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.